it was supposed to be just a simple clinic where we treat minor injuries and so on, and it ended up being a major event with all types of fractures, broken bones, broken skulls, broken jaws.
Our priorities are really geared on the life-saving. You know, people will die if they don't get medical assistance. They will die if they don't get drinking water.
The media pressure is heavy. They're all asking the same question. Why is it so slow to distribute?
There's only a limited number of slots in a day that they can bring aircraft in, and our priorities have to fit in with those.
Both airports are flooded, and we're trying to do everything all at once, but we can't.
Peuple a pas besoin de manger à boire. C'est des ordres qui viennent faire parce que pour fois ils des gens là, ils tente, c'est eux même qui c'est si moté pour mettre la machine à aller. Mais c'est haïtien de bailler, c'est toujours gens à faire peuple passer comme ça peuple passer parce que peuple pas besoin de livrer. Il faut faire ça pour quitter pour toujours quitter reste manger même puis faire ça ouvrir avec. Et même pour manger qu'à le vendre.
There's a long history in Haiti of food distributions. So the communities are now pretty much used to attacking food convoys. The strongest get the most in that type of distribution, so it's not good. The problem we have is now we have 500 camps in the city and 10 distribution points of food and a massive food operation that's run in that way. Now if we, the Red Cross, want to start doing food, everybody out there that's getting food knows that that's the way you're supposed to act with a food distribution.
I never worked in a highly populated urban area before. There were people that needed immediate assistance everywhere. The people that move to these camps will need food, they'll need shelter, they'll need basic health care, they need hygiene, they'll need health services. That's where we make the decisions on the pipeline.
We're somewhere here, and Steve wants to be somewhere there, which is fine. I mean, I understand that.
We're close.
It's close, but we have to get the messaging right to so that you don't get shit.
They're saying, why don't you want another ERU? Because I have 3 already and they have nothing to distribute. So why would I
Well,
get
I haven't got
4?
nothing to distribute,
But now there's not enough to justify
Not in the
ERUs.
warehouse.
right. That's the
We had
difference.
3 relief ERUs on the ground, working with committees and camps, but the supply chain was not fully up and running.
Steve's saying, look, I'm under big pressure. I'm trying to plan now the pipeline, right, for the next 4 months. I'm trying to get planning figures together, what's realistically going to come.
4 days?
Most pressure comes basically from different countries of the world for teams and people to deploy in. And we have learned over the years that to just jump on a plane and go somewhere can be more detrimental than helpful. A person shows up and they don't have any equipment, they don't have any food. They actually create more of a drag on the operation than promoting the efficiency of the operation.
It's going to take time.
Airport and the ports.
The ports are opening up. So they'll be open in 3-4 days. The point about using ports is it's cheaper and you can move more. So as soon as we can do that, we're going to start doing it. I just want to make sure that as soon as it's available, I'm ready to use that option. But let's see what is open here and what is open here. But this is open or not? Okay, it's open. Fine. But there's no crane capacity. Everything is broken.
We've been sent here to do an assessment of the pier facilities as a result, to check for the damage caused by the earthquakes.
I want to start bringing sort of boats in around the 30th of January, containerized ships.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the chances?
The best thing that can come in is something that's less than 20-foot draft, not over 100 meters. And an awful lot of what's coming off is brake bulk, which is something we rarely see this day and age. But there's an awful lot of small pallet handling and even individual piece handling going on. It brings me back.
We use that a lot. I do a lot of disasters. We do a lot. We come at places that are knackered a lot. So.
I look at it funny if it's not in the container. You know?
So what I'm looking at now is we're going to start to really open up the relief pipeline in the next 24, 36 hours. I'm looking for, can we bring stuff in here into the port to make sure I've got enough warehousing to cope with the stuff when it comes in to give us a buffer.
Today we've had gunshot wounds, we had cancer surgery, cesarean? No, cesarean yesterday.
Cesarean yesterday.
We've delivered 3 babies, or 3 babies already here. We have done a lot of amputations. It's a little bit of everything at this point.
Disasters tend to bring out the best in people, and our Haitian volunteers are absolutely fantastic. I know often the media likes to make us the heroes. We're not. They are, because every single one of them was affected by this disaster. Their family, their loved one, their friends, somebody lost somebody. But somehow they suffer through it, and we leave and they continue to go through it.
Before the quake, I was a computer engineer. and after that in psychology. During 1 year, I've been working like an helper at the hospital, and I'm a member of Haitian Red Cross. I do it because God gave me the opportunity. I've not been hurt at the disaster, so I have to help. This is the way for me to say thank to God. Personally, I've been very amazed to see how grateful people are. Qui peut t'oublier ça encore? Gambier cassé? She had broken arms. We receive help on medicines, not a lot, but we try to distribute it for everybody now. And we hope as soon as possible to receive tent. Imagine yourself if the rain is coming. Like you can see it, there's no tents. They need tents.
All right, so we now have officially the Haitian Red Cross food in the operation, so we have to somehow adapt to that. Sooner or later, this pipeline will be ahead of us, and we'll be no worries. I know it's coming, it's just not yet, so we keep adapting. We are distributing food, but not in large amounts. We're distributing what is here and available. It's very difficult. If we get a little bit of food and we distribute it, it can provoke jealousies amongst the population.
We need to make sure that we ticket in advance. So the groundwork that you guys are doing, we need to ensure that everybody else understands that process.
Now we're just going to do it like we do everything. I mean, we have it, we're going to distribute it, we're going to treat the people with respect, we're going to go out, explain what our situation is, work with them to identify the people who need it the most, and we're going to deliver to them.
In my experience in earthquakes, food becomes available fairly quickly, but the systems to bring the food to the capital cities is damaged. The trucks, the roads, the whole supply chain is disrupted. Outside of the emergency phase, there's definitely a danger of creating a dependency. If you distribute food anywhere for 2 or 3 years, local farmers are going to go out of business. You really need to take a look at what you're doing and take a look at the impact it's going to have on civil society and on the economy.
¿Quiere que ayudemos en algo? Sí, claro. ¿Qué quiere que hagamos?
Ahora ayudamos a la entrega. Vamos a entre nosotros sí.
They have tickets, and so tickets are gonna go. They're gonna come to the tickets and go out for the side, I guess.
Some people got 3, some people got 4 tickets, some don't got nothing. They give all the family the ticket. They don't give people who don't know the ticket. She said he's sick, he can't fight like that for the ticket. Let me tell you something. As Asian have problem. What Asian problem is, when you give them the ticket, they get the family there. They're looking for the family to give them the ticket. Don't give Asian ticket to give Asian, you give that in your oneself. You know what I mean?
But I don't know the community.
Okay, I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
So how can I come here and distribute tickets to people I don't know? We have to rely on a community structure to be in place. We cannot come in here and just plant ourselves in here and be the leadership and determine who lives here and who doesn't live here.
So you got a few TV channels on the other side who've been filming all this?
Ray Suarez?
The News Hour?
PBS.
Oh, the U.S. show, right?
Huh?
The U.S. show, right? This is life. This is life. You want to show life? This is it. they kind of have a half of a line there.
There was no pre-setup.
Exactly. But they say they've come here 5 times to work with this community. They obviously didn't do something right. Est-ce que tu m'as stoppé for a minute?
Allez bien? Demandez des questions, s'il vous plaît. Écoute, il y a la Croix-Rouge qui est venue, Croix-Rouge de Colombie. Ok, apparemment, ils ont donné les billets à des comités pour distribuer à les gens. Donc, c'est pour ça qu'on est là. On est en train de voir comment ça se fait que les gens ont des billets et les autres n'ont pas les billets. Donc, toi, tu n'as pas eu les billets?
Non.
Non, tu n'as pas gagné de ticket?
Non.
Comment ça se fait que les gens ont eu des billets et toi, tu n'as pas eu des billets?
La façon dont les tickets sont distribués, je ne participe pas dans ce genre de choses.
C'était quoi?
C'est un goût, mais je n'aime pas ce genre de
He doesn't like the way that it was handled, the way the tickets were
Je
distributed.
n'aime pas. Je ne participe pas.
He doesn't
à ce genre de choses.
participate in that kind of...
You can tell him we're trying our best. There's 2 million people like him right now in the city. Now there's about 1 million in the city. And we don't have enough.
Tous souffrent beaucoup. Nous n'avons pas de nourriture.
We have different Red Crosses here and Red Crescent societies working at different methodologies, the Colombian Red Crosses. Working with the committee and then the committee distributes the tickets, and we think that's a weak link. Whereas we work with the committee, but we still go house to house to make sure every house gets one. So there's a fine balance between working with the committee, but not letting the committee do everything.
If Haiti's going to truly recover, it's going to have to be Haitians doing it. At the same time, you can't just turn it all over with no controls and no technical support. We're going to have to help them. That's really our job, because eventually we're going to leave. We'll have a presence there, but they're going to have to do it themselves.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Comment ça, tu m'as When the earthquake happened, she was on the floor of her house. She get burned and hurt by acid. If she doesn't find the heads that she needs, she could lose her legs.
Excusez s'il vous plaît, excusez s'il vous plaît. Hoy necesitamos otra camilla. Esa presiona mucho. ¿Ya? Otra gasa.
People came from Nicaragua. They are here. They are the doctors that operate and help us very well.
No, está bien. Para que decirle a Cerda que aquí, mira, pero los burros.
Burrito. She's not going to lose the legs. They are going to give her good antibiotics and another chance for save the legs. The Nicaraguans, 4 or 5 have gone. We have only 6 of them here. It's gonna be very heartbreak to us. If we don't receive aid of medicines now, we'll be obliged to do nothing for nobody.
I'll show you a tent now, and you tell me if you like it, we can get more.
Small one.
Yes, yes, that's from us. So now you can put 25 beds in this one. Yes, like it's exactly like that other Nurhasp one. I think this should be post-op.
Post-op.
And this should be post-op. And the one on the side there should be pre-op.
Okay, okay.
Our work is meeting people's needs, and I think meeting people's needs means you have to understand and sympathize and empathize with people.
Psychological trauma, loss of family, loss of loved ones, loss of limbs, affects people for a lifetime. You can heal a fracture, you can heal a wound for people, and they will quickly recover. These other types of emotional or psychological trauma often never heal for a lifetime. There has been an attitude that if it doesn't bleed, I don't want to deal with it. It has taken a number of years to go past that. To start people on this healing process, you have to treat them as active survivors of a disaster and get them busy helping themselves and not as passive victims that are just there to receive aid. People recover much quicker if they are actually active and they're doing something. It works. It absolutely works.
J'ai l'habitude de vivre avec les sueurs. Si tu n'as pas l'habitude de travailler autrefois, maintenant c'est plus dur. J'ai loué un appartement là-haut. Il est de 4 étages. 3e étage, mon appartement. Tout mon argent, tous mes objets dans la 3e étage. Quand je sortais, et là où je me refuge, lorsque je n'ai rien à faire, je sortais et je voyais que ma maison était coulée. Là. Je me sens vraiment triste de voir une telle catastrophe. Parce que moi aussi, je pourrais être là. Je pourrais être mort. Okay? Ils sont en train de brûler leur corps parce qu'ils ont passé 2-3 jours dans les cavernes. Ils sont en train de sentir et pourrir lorsque les gens dans les rues qui vivaient dans cette zone veulent faire un nettoyage, ils sont obligés de le retirer et puis les brûler. C'est ça.
Mon ami, ¿qué tal? What do you think of the warehouse?
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, I pay my bottle of champagne to Louis Roll.
Really?
Really? I made a bet. I lose. So.
We ask everyone when we come if we can find warehouses, if there's, if we'll be able to find a big warehouse that's in good condition, whatever. And the French said probably there wasn't anything available, certainly certainly not very close and certainly didn't need a lot of work.
Yeah, Gary can say the same. So
Yeah.
you never find.
Okay, so you find it's a bottle of champagne. Okay, sorry.
The Red Cross has a massive advantage in that we already have a network here because the Haitian Red Cross are here. The contacts hear about stuff and understand what we need in common approaches.
Receive mosquito nets, which I don't really need.
Yeah, we do.
Do we?
Yes, yes. We asked for them yesterday. They sent a dispatch yesterday for today. What do you need?
Like jerry cans, for example, which I've none.
Also on their way. But you have no mosquito nets either.
There's 11,000 on this truck.
Jerry cans.
11,000.
These guys are distributing 2,500 families a day on average. Instead of 1,500 plants. It's fantastic.
That's why the warehouse is full one day, empty the next.
Finish ERU radio.
This operation is really getting too big.
Hi, can you help me with my computer?
We already have 170 people here from 20 countries. So yeah, and in an emergency, and we're all sleeping in tents. This is the first place we found. It was a wood provider that offered the space to use as warehousing, but we just had no other room to pitch our tents. So this is where we started.
The compound is full of people. There's trucks and cars everywhere. We are going to hurt someone if we're not careful.
Anything is better than here now, the way things are developing.
Okay.
The building, there's a big building in place there, concrete building.
So my team has just found a site that would be more suitable for the expanding needs in terms of accommodation and separating warehousing and accommodation and office space.
The roof is flat, so you can put satellite and things like that for the IT telecom. It's perfect. It looks fine, huh?
It looks very fine, actually.
Yes, yes.
Not even a crack on the walls. When can you get the engineers out here?
Today, in the afternoon.
Get them and let them assess this building.
Because this building is excellent.
The First Lady of Haiti, the wife of the president, is visiting a Norwegian hospital today. And the Haitian Red Cross has requested us to do food distributions during her visit.
It's a one-shot, it's a one-off distribution. It's for today. It's
for the patients that are within a
I
certain
think,
zone.
yeah.
And this thing is just really, really
complex,
messing up our whole operation. And I don't really know what to do.
It's gonna be half a day, man.
We don't know who to drop it to. Where's it gonna go?
I'm going with Bridget now to the hospital, right? And we're gonna figure it out.
You're going now?
Yeah. You've got the operational imperatives where all you care about is getting results and getting the immediate assistance to those who need it. It kind of detracts resources at a time where everything is a priority. At the same time, you can't really not deal with it. So politicians or even now celebrities, they come, but they can generate a level of public interest, and which translates into concrete support.
We're going to have a truck come in. Where do we stage the boxes?
I think the truck should come here as soon as possible
Yeah.
and come on this end, because for security reasons, they may block access to this road.
Okay.
Good.
Exactly.
Okay.
Arrête, recule-toi un peu.
Non, ça, il a pogné le fil. Il a pogné un fil. On a un problème, il a pogné le fil.
So what we're doing, so you know, we're going to bring the truck with the boxes. We're going to offload here. The volunteers are going to do it. The hospital has a list of beneficiaries, and they're going to be just giving it to the patients.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mettez ça correctement là.
She's doing much better. Okay, she was in the rebels.
We've had a few visitors, high-level VIPs, including Jesse Jackson. We've had the head of USAID. They typically have a big entourage. They have a big media contingent, and more importantly, it's the security detail with them that tends to block the roads access, even within the hospital here. There is no management of this. I would say it's pretty much a circus, and we do our best.
One of the things that you need to accept when you go into this line of work is dealing with a lot of contradictions and paradoxes and ambivalence. The impact of what we do in the emergency phase is limited on the overall reconstruction of the country. It's really up to the Haitians to take ownership of the process.
My son, my wife. Très difficile. Mais je survivrai. Nous survivrons. Je partage avec mes frères, ma famille et aussi les gens que je ne connais même pas. Parce que le vrai sens de la vie, c'est le partage. Il m'a demandé est-ce que c'est possible de réaliser une motocyclette. Un moyen de transport mais qui ne consomme pas trop de gaz. Les gazeuses, la nourriture, tous, beaucoup cher. Et c'est-à-dire 30% d'augmentation, 40%. En Haïti, on travaille, mais on ne touche pas. Le salaire est très minime. J'ai travaillé toujours sur le trottoir. Et je ne représente rien. Et je suis un homme je suis allé à l'école, j'apprends ce métier, cette profession que j'ai, mais je le dois d'un emploi.
In the early days, we definitely need water, food, shelter, and health. But as time goes on, those people are going to be wanting jobs. Because with the job, not only do you get an income, but you get dignity.
Moving up in the world today. We got our base camp. Seriously, never gonna look back.
We were the first to arrive here, and it was a good experience to see all the people coming, but then to have 200 people for 2 toilets, that's another thing.
You'll see the morale dramatically improve, you know. And I'm gonna remember that those 2 weeks where I was sharing, you know, with 250 people from all over the world, all spending together, eating dust. See, now I have the strength of 10 men.
Yes. Thank you. Saleh.
On my plate, I saw hot food. Big difference. Had a great breakfast this morning. I've never seen that many people be so happy with oatmeal. It's very, very different from the first days and the first weeks where we're trying to, get people in and get it up and running. But now the service part, it's gained momentum. It's reached its cruising speed, right? And so we're looking at the next phase and how the situation evolves.
The best thing that has happened to me in this camp was the pregnant woman and the baby. She lost everything that she had. Only one thing that she saved is her life.
Juste, nous t'es couché là et puis tout, t'es pas de faire recherche mon qui t'es fracturé et puis tout t'es venu sortir sur moi là. Que t'es pensé moi t'es aidé dans douleur que m'te gain et puis tout après le fin faire massage pour moi et puis tout docteur ça t'est toujours sur moi. De temps en temps il vient, il toujours me demande comment mieux, il prend soin comme ça doit.
Her belly was not right. And I just make a little message on his belly. Right side, left side, and I touch her, and now she's very well. It was a very great thing to me. I was very happy. And I think that the baby recognized me because every time I'm coming to see her, the baby is beating on his belly when I touch her. Hey, I feel the baby here. The baby is moving. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. They gave us desk covers. The young men of this camp just use their skills and fix them together, and after that, they just use some good wood, like you can see it. After the fixing, they use wood like this, and together they expand them all. But it's not very efficient, you can see it. If it's rain, the water will flow here. The dangerous thing of the rain is great disease for old persons, great disease for babies, and great disease for all the persons that are suffering of bronch, asthmatics, and many more flu. Imagine if the rain is coming. The first one thing that we need now is more tents.
We could have definitely improved our response in shelter, that's for sure. If I were to do the operation again, I would put a lot more emphasis on bringing dedicated resources to shelter from the day one. We'd get the priorities that were allowed in country in the airport, and they would be switching around sometimes every day or even twice a day when different people would say, oh, now it's tents. No, don't bring in tents anymore, bring plastic sheeting. So you need to adjust in real time and make those decisions knowing that you can make a mistake.
The Danish shelter team are starting the first distribution of shelters today. We expect by the end of this week having 1,400 families equipped with shelters.
1,400?
Yes. We're distributing the first one today's site, Simon. It's a massive site. Our objective is to distribute 20,000 shelter kits and 10,000 tents. If we manage to get the organization in place, if we manage to cooperate with the local community, if you manage to set up the security prior to a distribution, then things will go. But I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Keep on repeating it. Stay out. Everybody with a ticket, they will receive.
Parfait. Avancez. Cameraman.
Non, non, la femme. Première.
Ouais, je dis à bien passé. Parce qu'avant, il y a boumé. Je dis à bien plus discipline. Je dis à bien plus sécurité.
So what they're actually receiving, they're receiving 2 tarpaulins. They're receiving 2 timbers, 12 to 14 inches, a shovel, a hammer, they have nails, and all that is to reinforce the existing shelters they have. The committee have done absolutely fantastic job. They really have taken the responsibility, the guards and the way they actually are taking that role, that's super. We couldn't have done it without them.
Because we have such a high concentration of population in camps, we need to do vaccination campaigns. So this is what we're going to start over the next couple of days. We're looking at 140,000 kids to vaccinate because we can't afford to have an epidemic of measles. That would just be a catastrophe, right? So we're not just catching up, right? Now we can start thinking ahead, thinking forward, being strategic about the response.
The vaccination rates in Haiti in the normal situations are not really high, so we're starting from scratch. And the sanitary conditions are really poor. There's barely any latrines, and the risk of disease is getting extremely high.
Ça va, c'est la session nettoyage? Je vous explique.
Donc, si un enfant se présente de 6 semaines à 9 mois, we train 110 volunteers on Saturday to start the vaccination. We're hoping to increase on that amount of people vaccinating, and we should be able to vaccinate 150,000 people pretty fast, and then we'll increase. But we're focusing right now on the areas where there's the most people gathering all together, like here, and then we'll move to other camps and other areas. It's 2 shots, they're combined vaccines. So for kids, 2 shots, for adults, 1. They're vaccinating the mom and the children with that, but both needles at the same time for the kid.
Et on donne les 2 injections en même temps.
C'est beaucoup plus facile pour le bébé. So that way the kid doesn't have time to realize what's going on, because if not, we're going to fight for the second one. It's the domino effect. One sees the other kid crying and he knows the needle coming, so they're crying all in a row just by expecting the needles to come.
What the operation now requires is new energy. Close to half the original team is leaving, including me. Normal rotations are for 4 weeks. This time we took it down to 3, just because it was such a hardship mission. I'm good at troubleshooting immediate stuff. That's where I'm more comfortable. But what's required now is more strategic, more longer planning. You need to take a step back from the day-to-day and take a look at the overall operation and then say, okay, it's a different skill set. Good evening, everyone. This has been one hell of a ride for all of us that were here. We can go home with our head held high. We've reached over 100,000 people within 3 weeks. We're now distributing 1 million liters of drinking water a day. We're making a huge impact. As we move from the acute phase of the emergency into the longer recovery programming, we look at the larger effects. This is our chance to contribute to make Haiti better than it was. It's been an amazing honor to be amongst you guys, and thank you so much for all the work that you've done, and thank you for all the work that you're still going to do over the next years or so. Thanks a lot.
I am reviewing in my mind constantly the Haiti deployment. Could we have more of this particular type of drug or less of that? More beds, more tents? I still consider our response a bit delayed, but there was not much we could do about that.
I think that our work is very important but not efficient. We have the volunteer, we have the leader, but we have not the materials that we need. I'm not getting angry or upset, only sorry. Only sorry.
Avant sorti dans entrailles maman, moi t'es sacré. Moi mettez comme prophète.
The difficulty in leaving is that you always feel like you could have done more. It's a poor country which is subject to recurring disasters. That means that you can never fully recover from the first disaster before the second one comes. And that's going to drive the population to a point where they have absolutely no coping mechanism whatsoever.
I would rather not do disaster response. I'd rather see a world where we're smarter in the way we prepare, we're smarter in how we build our housing, and we reduce the vulnerability. We're gonna have to pay for this one way or the other. We can pay for it after the disaster by rebuilding cities like Port-au-Prince, or we can put our resources before disasters so that they don't even happen or they're highly reduced.
Pour la reconstruction d'Haïti, je ne peux rien dire. Parce que cette catastrophe-là a demandé beaucoup d'argent, beaucoup d'espérance en cette matière de la reconstruction. Moi, j'ai mes limites. Je peux réparer tous les engins, les véhicules, tout ça, mais le pays, je ne peux rien faire.
You have to take stock of what were the pre-existing conditions that compounded the gravity of the event. We talk about recovery. You have to rebuild an entire economy in Haiti. Environmental protection, food security. These are all things that go way beyond the scope and mandate of the first immediate response. The ultimate success or failure of the operation will be measured not by what we did early on, it's by what will be done over the next few years.